Well, John, thank you very much for joining me as ever on game day. And Paul Cook is up and running with his first win as town boss as the Blues beat Plymouth 1-0 here at Portman Road. Your thoughts as ever, my friend?
Yeah, well, it wasn't a classic, was it, Ross? I thought it's 3 points in the bag and 3 points to push us into sixth on the table. So that's the important thing. And considering we're not very good, we're sixth in the table. So there's still hope that when we start getting better, we can do even better. But I thought the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes were really positive. We started on the front foot. I thought they were mistake strewn and really quite poor to begin with, but they did get back in the game and we allowed them to. We started sharply, but I think when Downs went off, that was a massive blow because we missed his drive in midfield. And I just don't think Bishop and Dizelle, against anybody who's got any kind of physicality at all, are a good pairing in there. And pleased to see Cole Skuse come back in the second half. We missed him this season. I know not everybody likes him, but for me, he's a really solid pro who always does a good job. He broke up play straight away. I think it's an asset to have him back. And I think he could play alongside Downs for Cook, in some games, maybe not every game. Bishop was a bit anonymous. Dizelle, other than a couple of good balls, was pretty poor today, I thought. Your boy, the chicken man, Kenny, had one of his better games again. Saved Wilson with a few back post sort of supporting roles there. Just wasn't a really good game. But, under Cook, we had a disappointing defeat, then a credible draw, and then a narrow victory today. I would like us to have taken the second goal. But Cook's, can hear him talking about people getting up the pitch. He made his substitutes when he needed to. There's lots of positive things there, but I still think there's a lot to ask. And, I think we need to be realistic that if we should get into the playoffs, it's in our hands. But let's not kid ourselves. We're not suddenly going to walk it, are we? Because, we're still not that clever yet. So progress, 3 points, and a happy-ish Saturday. So I'm not going to moan. I'm just going to enjoy the 3 points. But I didn't really enjoy the game. Second half was poor, I thought.
Well, Bloomers, thank you for joining me as ever on game day. And Paul Cook has got his first win in charge of the Blues, a 1-0 win over Plymouth. It wasn't a classic, but all 3 points in the bag. Your thoughts as ever?
No, it wasn't a classic, but I think if you look at the results around the league today, with teams slipping up like Accrington and Charlton, it goes to show you can easily lose or draw these kind of games and you lose vital points in the run-in. So I'm certainly not going to be negative too much on this win, because at this stage a win is indeed a win. I am delighted for Troy Barrett to get his first goal. I know I've been quite harsh on him in the various pods that we've done, but look, there's a lot of strikers that would have just taken the shot on immediately without taking a touch when that mistake happened, but he had the composure to go around the goalkeeper and score. Fair play to the guy. I hope he scores 10 more now between now and the end of the season. It was great to see Cole Skuse back as well in the second half, and we saw what he can do almost immediately. I remember he made an interception high up on the pitch. We got a corner from it, and that kind of ability and also leadership, being as experienced as he is probably going to be very vital in this run-in. It wasn't a classic. There wasn't loads to say, and I think in a previous bit before we did this recording, I said to you and the guys, it felt like a Paul Lambert win. And what I mean by that is we won. There wasn't loads to say about it. Not a massively great performance, but we somehow managed to win, which is what Lambert used to do in the start of this season and last season. I'll take it. We go on. We got the 3 points. Cook gets his first win, which is massive because you don't have to think about that anymore. He's got his first win under his belt. And finally, in our little prediction league between us, ourselves and the Kings of Anglia regulars, I also said 1-0. So I'd like to take the credit for all of this.
Well, Matt, thank you very much for joining me as ever on game day. And Paul Cook has got his first win as town boss. It's a 1-0 win today against Plymouth. And Cole Skuse is back. Happy days as well. Your thoughts on that? 3 points.
Well, things you love to see. The Silver Fox back on that pitch, doing what he does best. It's great that we got our first win. I was growing a little bit concerned the amount of noise coming from the fans of social media about the fact that we're not changing the world overnight. That was never going to happen. But let's get back to today. We started really well. We started like a team with some intensity and a team with some purpose, which we had been sadly lacking for many weeks leading up to the change of management. But we didn't capitalise on that. We could have been 2, 3, 4 up, I think, before half-time, and half-time did come at the right time. Plymouth was starting to get back into the game, and when we lost Flynn Downs to injury, that was real concern, because you're bringing on Teddy Bishop, completely different sort of player. I thought Dazelle looked fairly decent today. I don't think anybody really had a poor game. Obviously missed Norwood through injury, so that was disappointing to see him out. I thought Holy looked fairly decent. Wasn't really tested. He had long periods of not having to do anything, which I think his mind tends to wander, and I'm glad that there wasn't any mistakes due to those sort of lapses. Agree with the changes that were made. I think Wilson looked absolutely fantastic again today, commanding, really dominating his area, not letting his man go, and those kind of Beckenbauer-esque runs that he did are just so nice to watch. You don't really see that sort of thing at this level, but I think overall we did fairly well. It's 3 points. It's never going to be the most memorable game, especially in those conditions. But we're into the playoff places. You know, we're starting to get points from our games on hand, obviously, or games in hand. Obviously, Charlton are a couple of places below us. They're 2 points off us with 2 games in hand. But I think, as I've always said, it's better to have those points on the board. And yeah, we're closing in, and I think it's ours to lose now. So 3 points, happy with that. Cheers.
Well, Segs, thanks for joining me as ever on game day. And it's third time lucky for Paul Cook. His first win in charge against Plymouth, a 1-0 win for the Blues. Your thoughts as ever?
I'm really happy for him. Obviously, it hasn't been the greatest start for him, but, you know, things don't happen overnight. I'll probably say that a few times during this, because it is what it is at the moment. I felt like at the start, a great start. We were just pressing, pushing. For our goal, Jackson was just there, and he's effectively caused their defender to make, or their winger to make a mistake, and he's crossed it into the box. You know, only a winger could dream of that pass, and he's passed to the parrot, and he's put it around the keeper, and it's 1-0. And like 4 minutes in, it's perfect start. And then we keep pushing, we try and make something, and obviously Jackson, who arguably could have gone around the keeper, or he could have chipped it. Either way, he's just messed up the shot, and we're stuck at 1-0. And we had a few other chances. I mean, we had the free kick with Judge as well. You know, we could have arguably been 2 or 3-0 up before the 20th minute mark. So there's positive signs there. Obviously, Parrott capitalised on it because he had to. But then also, all of a sudden, we gave Plymouth the chance to come back into it. And their left-hand side is deadly. I mean, the crosses that they put in that box were just something that we could dream of, to be fair. I mean, we haven't seen a few crosses like that for a while. And obviously, if it wasn't for Kenlock covering for Wilson or Toto, I think I counted like 3 or 4, 5 maybe. Just great defensive actions from Kenlock there, who's saved us the game. I mean, I think there's definitely 2 or 3 in the first half, and he's come in and just saved us from conceding. So, and it happened again a couple of times in the second half. So, you know, we have worked for it, and it's a good result, and it was a good first half, good first 20 minutes. Sorry. So, you know, but in terms of the second half, it was a bit boring. Obviously, we wanted to keep hold of the result, and you know, it's a good result overall. It wasn't pretty. I mean, we perhaps should have capitalised, like I said, in the first 20 minutes, but we didn't. Plymouth were dire in those 20 minutes, and they came back into the game. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. We've got the win. We're now in the playoffs. Ports have played in their EFL trophy today. I don't know how they finished, but obviously with that game in hand and them has put us in the 6th place. And at the end of the day, there was times when we could see Cook implementing how he wants us to play. It's it's a big thing for us. It's not going to happen in 10 days. As long as he's been here, it was never going to happen overnight. But to get his first win, we can push on from that. Obviously, we've got Fleetwood on Tuesday. We're in the playoffs. As I've already said, we can just push on and just hopefully just stay where we want to. It seems evident that he doesn't want to use the loans. So he's obviously seeing what we've got. He wants to use them. It's a shame for Matheson because I feel like he was our most exciting signing in January. It seems like he's going to stick with Chambers, Enciala and Wilson at those back three. Obviously Kinlock on the left, but yeah, we'll just see what happens now. I know I said shithouse autos when he signed, but yeah, I'm happy with whatever happens. And if it doesn't happen this season, it'll happen next because I feel like eventually he'll get his way and we'll start playing to the way he wants to play. And if we were under Lambert today, we wouldn't have had that start, and we'd probably, if we were 1-0 up, we'd probably have conceded at some point. But yeah, and just secondly, or lastly, I should say, if my nan had been in the same position as Judge, he'd have scored.
Well, Ben, thank you for joining me as ever on game day, and Paul Cook has got his first win as Blues boss. Your thoughts as ever, my friend?
Yeah, obviously delighted to get the win. Probably wasn't the best game to watch, but I guess refreshing in a way that we were able to see out the game reasonably comfortably. I think they had one chance at the back stick where they should have done better when they headed wide. But overall, we had more chances. You know, I think everybody's probably commented on Judge should have scored. Obviously, bit of a bobble on the penalty spot, I think, but you need to put those away. Jackson in the first half, I think he probably could have gone around the keeper, but encouraging. We made a few chances. I still think that we need to do more in around the box. I think we need to be more creative in midfield. Edwards sort of in and out of the game, sort of typical winger. And then, look, we made so many changes second half. It was almost difficult to keep up in terms of Lancaster and Bennett and Judge going off, Parrott going off. I thought Drinnan did well when he came on. He really put himself about, gave us some really good energy up there just to help see out the game. I think most people look at the moment Downs went off, and that did sort of change our complete control in the midfield. We were knocking it around really nicely for the first 20-25 minutes, and then unfortunately, I hope it's not a bad one, but he's a really important player for us, and if we want to stay in that top six, it'd be good if he's obviously still about and it's just a knock and not anything too serious. Obviously, fantastic that Scoos is back. He's one of those players that, for me, always rated Scoos, breaking up the play, starting attacks and stopping their attacks. Every team needs one. I think Andre's done his best in that role, but he's obviously more one to pick a pass, whereas Scoos is, he just reads the game so well. And, to have that experience alongside an Andre, Bishop, Downs, is going to help us no end in the centre of the park. So, that's a positive from today. A clean sheet, it's always positive to keep a clean sheet. Well done, Toto. Well done, Wilson in the centre of the defence. Again, Chambers and Kenlock contributing to that as well. So lots of positive. Cook's first win. He's got more to build on. Really important game now on Tuesday. But just delighted to be in the top six. I'm sure all Town fans can raise a glass to that this evening. And look, we're quietly, slowly but surely, I think things are coming together. Hopefully more wins to come.